today starting out about, we've had several marvelous conversations the last few months, but today I wanted to really talk about Super Soldier, your Super
Okay.
Soldier program.
Yeah, that's obviously very hot topic. I think a lot of people are starting to connect with it, are starting to believe that it is part of our reality on another wave of reality. So there are super soldiers that are out there. So many people, I think probably tens of thousands of people come forward and talk about their experiences in the super soldier program at this point. Some people are having memories that are come through. It's kind of, I did the remote viewing and so forth. So I know, when my mind is actually, picking up real information. And once I started to see these super soldiers, first it was kind of interesting. And then people were connecting with me and saying, you're part of the super soldier program, don't you? And I was like, because that part of that analytical mind, and you want to remember things on a certain memory, historical level that you're related to, going back, when I was a little boy, that's a memory. But going back when I was part of the secret space program, it's another level. You have to reach out there. That information started to come through. And I was like, it freaks you out a little bit at first because you're like, where are those memories coming from? Am I
Yes.
making these up? Am I seeing, these other people that are talking about their experiences, and it's kind of bleeding over to me? I'm creating this in my mind, so you go through all those different, mind, trying to make it fit, or whether it's not you, or, first of all, you would just want to dismiss it. All right, I've got a life. I don't want to, if that's something, that I don't want to be part of that, but eventually it just started coming through, and I got comfortable with it to a certain extent, because I realized it is a particular reality that I'm involved in. I don't completely understand it, how it happens, but I know it is happening because we've had so many people that have talked about it. My memories come through; they match what other people have talked about. I talk about things that I have seen, and then I hear other people that have no relation to me, and so forth, that are starting to reveal the same things. So it is something that's real. It's difficult, like I said, for some people to accept, because they think it's like, a mind creation. But no, it's not a mind creation. I'm picking up on real memories. I can project my consciousness in different realms and different vibrational fields and so forth, and pick up information. Go back in time, pick up information. I picked up information by remote viewing history that wasn't out there, and then I started putting it out. And then it's like, one of them was this one general that was looking for this one ancient city where in Egypt, where there's like this prophet was. And so they said it was all just it wasn't real. So I remote viewed it, and I was like, they did go out there. They did get caught in a sandstorm. They did run out of water, and there's bodies out there still. So I talked about that because everybody's like, no, it's not real. It's just somebody's imagination. And then they found the bodies after it was revealed. So this happens a lot of times when someone reveals. It opens up some kind of doorway in consciousness, so that that information starts to bleed through, and other people pick up on it. So that's what happened with that particular one. I can't remember the actual general. I think it was the son of what was it? Cyrus the Great. He was Cyrus the Great's son, and so his army went out into the desert, and they disappeared out in the desert, looking for this one person that was revealing, I guess, that he was not going to be part of Egypt soon. He would die. So he sent his army out to go kill this prophet, and then they never found her because a big snowstorm or a sandstorm came up. So that's interesting. So there are also in that case, there seems to be these like we talk about our connection with God and so forth. It seems to be these energies that protect us and so forth, that we're doing the right thing, we're connecting with the right information. So I think that prophetess was connecting with the right information, and this wayward ruler, decided to go egoic and evil, and so his army got stopped out, and eventually he died because I think he had a knife or something. He threw it at a statue of the Egyptian gods or goddesses or something, and then he took his knife and he put it in his knife holster, and he jumped on his horse, and it ripped through his holster and cut into his leg, and he got an infection and died from it. So don't go against the good energies out there. So I talk about this stuff. There's other people that talk about this stuff. I just tell people, just be open-minded about this. You don't understand. I didn't understand it at first. I still don't completely understand it. I've been told I'm an admiral out in the fleet out there. I'm like, what? But I connect with it. I'm like, I think so. So, and I've actually remote viewed that, and there is something there. But I hear it from very informed people that are into that type of information. So, I'm not completely into that field. I have a lot of other things that I'm doing, but occasionally something will bleed through, and I'll get information. In the early stages of my discovery in that, I had a lot of information come through. I had someone that regressed me into that information. That was an expert, had done thousands of people, and this woman said that I've never had anybody that regressed into that information better than what you did. And I did a show on Gaia on that. So, the information is there if people want to connect with it. I tell everybody, at some point, this is going to be more revealed to us, because I feel like it's not a secret space program anymore. It's a space program, because it's not secret anymore, because so many people have been revealing on it.
When you first started getting these memories, Michael, I think people would be very interested to know, a little piece of this reminds me when my repressed memories started. I can relate a bit to this, where you're going about your life, doing your thing, busy with your stuff, and all of a sudden, bam, you start remembering things, and you question, like, that can't be, that's not real, that didn't happen, but it does get confirmed, and pretty soon maybe you can't explain it all, but you're completely certain what happened. I can relate to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that have repressed memories. I have repressed memories on purpose in this life, where I would see things, especially when I was working with the CIA, and I was doing security for a group of people that were, I can't tell you who they are, but they were very, very high up in the political realm in a lot of different countries. And they started talking about stuff, and I'm like, I have to forget this. So I have literally forgot what they talked about, and I just said, I forget. It would come up, and I repress it. So there are ways that we can, wittingly, knowingly suppress information, and then there's, like, you've experienced, I've experienced, where these memories are purposefully suppressed to a certain extent, but they bleed through. They start to creep in. A lot of times as we get a little bit older, we start to have experiences, and we can handle the information, I believe, and then it starts to come through. And that's when, once you connect with it, you want to dismiss it, but it keeps creeping, and eventually it's a flood of information, and then you validate it the best you can. And that's where it is for me right now. Now, people can query me. I know you're going to query me probably on some stuff. And I will connect with that particular span of my knowledge and history and so forth in the secret space program.
Well, let's jump into that. One thing, when we talked last time, you gave me stories of times that you would die and then you would be brought back. And from a spiritual side, before we talk about the super soldier aspect, I want to hear a lot about people in these times that we're in. They're afraid to die, And I know I've died twice when I was little. You have many times, you've told stories from your super soldier. And so I wanted to give people actually some peace of mind about this. Do you remember dying? I mean, did it hurt terribly, any of that, or were you just gone?
No, so there's two instances I remember specifically. One was the Rockmen. So Rockmen are very, very accomplished at getting in your head and controlling you. So you have to have partners. When you're going against a Rockman, they will try and use that mind meld type stuff, and mess you up. And I know we have that technology now here. So they can broadcast, skull to brain type stuff.
That's right.
So it's already, the technology's there, but some individuals can do that. Now, to a certain extent, I can do that, but I don't interfere with people. That's something where you start to lose your capabilities in these realms, dimensional realms. So I don't go there. Of course, there are evil types that do. So the Rockman basically can can enter your head and make you turn your gun against you and kill yourself. So that's how astute they are and how good they are at that. So that's why you have a partner. Your partner and you will focus fire on them, and the guns that we have are some kind of like super high tech laser, because their skin is kind of like if you look at some of the old dinosaurs and the way their scales or whatever are, they're huge and thick. That's the way the Rockmen are. So you have to hit in between one of those points where they're rock formations that make their skin come together, and it blasts that open and basically blasts them. So that's one of it's hard to get them. You have to have the right technology, and you have to have the right shooting skills, and you have to have a partner, because they will, like I said, they will take over your mind and make you turn your gun against yourself. So I remember we were going against the Rockmen. We came in with our ships. We're like, we think with our ships. We're mind melded with our ships, and our ships are, connected to us. They're connected to us when we're actually out fighting as well. So sometimes our ships will follow us. And I say ships, it's not like ships here on the ocean or the lake behind me. The ships are in the heavenly realms where we fly them. We call them ships. And I'm an admiral, out there. So I worked my way up to that point, of course, but I was a leader. We're going against the Rockmen. We're defeating them on the surface, and then they went into an underground facility. A lot of my men were, still dealing with the guys on the surface. I knew that they were, if we didn't get them right away, that they would go in and they would probably kill a lot of people. So I tried to go in, follow them in, and kept firing on them. But then they did the mind meld on me, and they froze me, and then they shot and blew off half my brain, half my skull, even though I had the protection. So they have the technology and the ability to actually, break through our defenses as well. So I remember there was no pain. It was just a bright light. I was gone. I hovered over my body. I saw my men, fighting with the Rockmen, driving them back, getting my body, putting it on my personal plane, and my personal plane ship went back to the main ship, which is huge, and all these other craft can come into it. So it went in. So they put you in a tank when something like this happens. Obviously, it's a fail safe in case you get injured or killed. They put you in these tanks or med bed type stuff like we see in Star Trek, light frequencies and so forth. But for when you die, they put you in a tank full of solution, and in that tank, you start to regenerate. So the parts of my body that had been blasted, they started to regenerate. There's like they hook you up with electrical wire type things, which, cause a frequency, and it connects with your DNA. And your DNA, because they can program it as well. So your DNA, they know what your DNA is, so they program it. It comes in, it starts to rebuild where you're injured, or where you're, blown to pieces sometimes, and it reformulates. It reformulated this side of my brain and face and everything. Took about I think 3 weeks at that time. The technology is a lot faster now, and I was hovering. So as long as it's done within a month, your soul, knowing that it's your body's being regenerated, will wait. And I know this in astral planes, this often happens, where a soul will be in astral planes and visit, the relatives and so forth. So it's that same thing. Your soul still sticks around. If you're revived, then your soul comes back in. Some people that are, in accidents, where they're, unconscious for long periods of time. And then everybody thinks, oh, they're dead. And then they pop back in because they're about ready to pull the plug. So that happens quite often. And, sometimes they actually take people to the morgue or the, funeral home or whatever. And people wake up and get out of the coffin. It's like, whoa, what the heck happened? But it's the same thing, you're waiting. So we do have the technologies now. Not so much here on Earth, but within the secret space program, where we can regenerate bodies, just like a frog, or a salamander or something, regenerates his tail, or different things like that. We have the ability, and there's been people that have actually regenerated body parts. Just focus on it. They send energy to it, and it regenerates. It's crazy, but there are instances of people actually doing that. We actually have that with LifeWave. A little boy lost the tip of his finger, and the LifeWave frequency, they put the patch on him, and his finger regenerated.
That's right.
It's completely back to normal. So these technologies are there. David Schmidt, fortunately for the world, is already working on a lot of them. As far as like the med bed, I would say he's probably got something. I've been in different med beds, that here in this reality. This one guy in Sedona had built one and had crystals and all kind of crazy stuff in it. And I went into it. It was basically one of those sun beds, whatever. He had converted it, and it was incredible to be in that. I felt so rejuvenated after being that. So there are technologies that are out there that are pushing into that direction, where we can completely regenerate and so forth. The LifeWave patches are doing a lot of that already. It's basically taking our own frequencies, and that's what these med beds do. They just basically, like I talked about with having half my head blown off.
Yeah.
It just basically connects with your DNA, your energy fields and so forth, and hits the frequency just right, and you rejuvenate yourself.
Which is why you call our patches the wearable med bed.
Yeah. Because it is, it's pretty much the same technology, the frequency connected with your light, with your DNA and so forth. So remember the light. So the light is very important, because the light is almost like portaling different energies and frequencies and so forth through. So you have that little patch on, like the little patch I have on my wrist, glutathione patch. So that little patch right there is basically connecting with the frequencies of my body. And, glutathione is really good for, preventing illness and, so forth. So seems to be a lot of that going around right now. So I have everybody around me is getting sick, but, I haven't. So knock on wood. So we're having great results with the LifeWave. And, I like to move energy. I wear the energy enhancer.
I have mine on too.
You got wear them. I wear them all over them. I feel where I need to put them. Sometimes I put them just below my kneecap, and sometimes I put them on my kidney 3 or 1, whatever that is. The bottom of your foot where you're.
K1.
Yeah. So there's lots of places you can put them on your wrist. You can put them wherever you feel like you need to put them, because your energy is unique. and these energy enhancing patches and frequency activating patches are fantastic technology. All it is just, within that little patch right there is a crystalline natural, substances which create frequency together, and they activate your own frequencies.
I think where people get confused, Michael, is the concepts about how we're an electrical system, how we have frequencies, how we are full of light. And that's what our technology is: no drugs, no chemicals, which takes me even back to the avatar bed that you were talking about. Mm-hmm. We can regenerate and renew. We were always made to do so. We need some external help to do it, but it's very, very possible in order to do that. We've heard too many testimonies of people, including our own. And you're right. It's like, I love your use of the word portals, because it's like connecting to God and then letting his light come through in order to renew our bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we are God embodied here on earth, and, God is connected to all things. And those of us that connect deeper on a deeper level, because we come here, we can forget, of course, there's fallen angels, Lucifer, and so forth. So they basically broke away, but, and sometimes we, pull away from those energies, those thoughts and stuff that come to us, intuitions, or discount them. But they are our connection to source, to God. And once you start to understand that, you're like, I get these intuitions sometimes, and they turn out to be good. I should listen to them more often. And then you start to, connect with those frequencies, those energies, those thoughts, and so forth. And then you can actually have more of them come through, because if you discount them and push them away, they're not going to come. It's just like everything else. I mean, if, someone like my wife, when we first met, she played me like a fiddle, Way
to go, Tracy Joe.
Oh yeah. So, and I never got played before, So I'm like, here I am. You're lucky. Here I am. So I'm for you if you want me. But most women are like, oh God. So, but she was like, I don't know. So that's went on. And then eventually, we connected. Now, at any time, several times I was like, well, I'm not going to speak to her again. I'm not going to have anything to do with her. And then she'd show up, and then we'd speak, and eventually we got together. But you have the choice all the time of what you want to connect with and what you want to experience. And if you want to experience, being with somebody that's very much like you, and that's going to help you grow, and you're going to have a lot of fun and have great times with, then you're going to attract that. And that's what a lot of people do. And then some people are like, they fall into what I guess the current thing is like you have sex with anybody you want to, as many times you want to, and blah blah blah. And it's like, there was never anything that I was interested in. So I attracted to me. So I spent a lot of lonely times, but they because there seems to be, like, everybody at some point was like that. But eventually you're going to attract the type of person that is fit for you. And it's the same thing with these frequencies with the life wave. You talked about, and I talk about how we wanted certain things to happen within our lives, and life wave showed up, and that seems to be what happens with a lot of people. You attract to you what you're ready for one. If you're not ready for it, you think you might be ready for it, but sometimes you're not. I can look at a lot of things that are happening in the world right now, and I can tell people want certain things to happen. I'm like, you're not quite ready for that reveal yet. So, but they come, a little bit at a time. It's the same thing with the Secret Space program. It came a little bit at a time. It didn't shock me. At first I was like, what? And then eventually, people were telling me, yeah, you've done this and you're into this. I'm like, I don't know. And then, over time, it became full disclosure for me. I was totally into it. Knowing that program exists, and then connecting with other people that have had experiences as well. So it is quite substantial. Now, we've heard from President Trump. He's talked about how, he's going to do the ET disclosure.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a massive thing. So the ET disclosure is the thing that's going to open a lot of these technologies that I'm talking about for the public. And that's why they have been suppressed so aggressively for so long. Those that try to disclose, met untimely deaths, a lot of them. So now we're seeing that, more and more of these technologies are coming through, like David Schmidt's, LifeWave. So these things can come through. They're going to try to suppress them, but the overwhelming, like I talked about before, there's like a portal that opens, and everything starts to bleed through, and then starts to pour through, and then they can't. You're not stopping it, and that's what's happening with a lot of these technologies now. They're right on the cusp of coming out. They've been leaked, over time. They've been here for thousands of years. We've known and utilized these technologies from the past, from Atlantis and so forth. Atlantis was destroyed by evil groups that basically are some of the people that we fight in the secret space program. But that is one, and because we're resolving conflicts, sometimes you can resolve a conflict just by taking up space. Like, I would come to some places and there would not be any more conflicts because I was there. And then, for different reasons, because, everybody's like, there's badass, we don't want to mess with that one. And then because I have these frequencies that I bring, and I've talked about them, how I can push frequencies that's basically settle things, and things don't get out of hand. So, that's kind of like the Rockman. Although they do it in a negative way, there's some of us that can do it in a very positive way. And that's part of the God consciousness, and, Jesus, coming in and disclosing and showing us, these different, healing modalities that he did, walking on water, all these different things, we've seen from masters throughout time. These things I do, you can do, and even you will do it even greater. These things are starting to bleed through. So he was a way shower. He still is, of course, connects with a lot of us, that are open to that connection. And he helps guide us and give us insights and so forth.
When you talk about portals opening, I know a lot of people who listen to me and follow me that are in the audience now. God has specifically led them to certain places and events to pray for open portals of good things, and to close portals so evil things can't get through anymore. And we have a lot of prayer support in that area. And you mentioned that, soon President Trump's going to do some ET reveals. What do you think we're going to hear?
Yeah, it'll be probably technologies, visitations that, we can connect with. Maybe like with Eisenhower, there was documentation when he had visitations. That kind of stuff would be revealed. Okay. Maybe even video of him interacting with different extraterrestrial or other people interacting with extraterrestrial, and a lot of them look like us. There's a lot of similarities, but there's also some differences, of course. Some are very different. Reptilians obviously would be very different from us, but I think even some of the reptilian DNA is within us, because we have a brain. A part of our brain is like reptilian. So a lot of things have been inserted in us from different groups. That doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but in some cases you learn to overcome that. I think the fear and so forth is part of the reptilian brain. That's how they connect and control us. Kind of like the thing I was talking about with the Rockmen. The certain very negative alien groups here on Earth that have been controlling us for a long time, can control us through fear. And so they push a lot of fear agendas and so forth. Learning how to overcome that is a massive step in a positive direction. so that you open your intuitions and connection to God, the good God source. Of course, there's their God who
Right. Little G.
Lucifer, like so. There, and that's what some of these negative alien groups, they worship just like we do
Yes, they
in
do.
certain religions, and that's one of the ones they worship, the Luciferian agenda.
Exactly. I always go back to that 2 Timothy 1:7. God did not give us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. And getting into that area is very self-defeating and very sabotaging. There's a lot of things that we could have that are wonderful that we don't have because we're giving into fear and going down that path and making that dark negative energy bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I've seen it. It grows. It's like feeding it, and it gets fatter and fatter and fatter. And it's very simple to stop once, and get rid of it. But we have to be really careful because we can sabotage ourselves, our family, and the future of humanity.
Yeah, excellent point. And some of that conditioning, brainwashing, and a lot of people are affected by it. You and I both, when I noticed it in you, and I was like, yep, she's been programmed to, when she starts to reveal, it's going to everything's going to get tight and she's going to feel bad. And
yes,
that's part of the conditioning that, revealing the stuff will, once people start to reveal, people are like, why are they so nervous? And why can't they talk right? And so they do stuff that makes you lock up.
That's right.
And it's a programming. So they know that at some point you're going to start awakening if you live long enough. And then once that programming that they have on you starts to get thinner and thinner and thinner, then the things start coming through. But it's not going to come through like you and I are talking very articulate right now. But in the beginning stages, it was not articulate at all. It was very, very tough to talk about it. And you're like, I don't want to talk about that anymore. I feel so bad. It's like, why do I feel bad? And then you start to understand that's part of the conditioning. So then you start to relax through that, and you start to, go past the fears that start to come up, the programming within the reptilian brain and so forth to cause the fear. And then you overcome that, and you overcome it. Once you overcome it in one area, like I did as a Navy SEAL, doing, combat training and hand-to-hand and all that kind of stuff. Once you overcome it in one area, it starts to filter over in other aspects of your life. Like for you, I mean, you're not hitting on all cylinders yet, but you're starting to hit on a lot of them that you've never had before.
Exactly. It's amazing. When I was talking on your every Monday, you do a Miracle Monday show on your Rumble and your YouTube about LifeWave testimonies. And I was sharing Monday how the first month when I started on the X39 and the Eon, the severe long-term PTSD and anxiety that I've had, which I've worked on it for years using a lot of things, and I'm better and better. But at that point, it decreased what was left, which was still pretty massive, by 70% the first month. And you started sharing Monday night how that happened. And I don't know if you remember what you were telling me, but you were sharing how the energy, anyway, I'd love to hear that again, because I find the technology in our patches, it is a med bed.
Yeah. And Dr. Tom Acklin, talked about it really good on the show. He did a really good job of, disclosing how we basically have energy centers in our bodies. And that's what we attach the patches to a lot of times, these energy centers, nodes and so forth, that, where energy comes together. And then you put a patch on it and it really ramps up that energy, and then, shoots it out through other parts of the body. So I talked about how I did the hand program, and there are ways that I can influence your body. We'll call it that. Like for a guy, I could kick a guy in the nuts, and he's going to react. He cannot control it. The body protects itself. So the pain goes right to the spinal column, and it shoots back. Okay, you're going to grab your testicles. you're going to leap up into the air about 1.5 feet, and you're going to go back. Your mouth is going to come open, and you're going to bend over at the waist. I don't mean to do that, and other people haven't mean to do that, but I videoed all our training, and you could tell when guys were like activated. So we would train like you're doing it as if it was happening to you. You're not actually getting kicked in the nuts, but someone would throw that kick just before striking that area, and then you'd react, because we could show I chop you in the throat. You're going to put both your hands up there. Your mouth is going to come open. Your eyes are going to go wide. And you're going to take a step back. So we would practice like that, but the guys that went a little too far and actually connected, you could see that reaction. And then when it would happen, we'd pull the class in, and it's like, okay, we play the video back, and we're like, okay, see how we're talking about this? Look, Joey just got kicked in the nuts accidentally. Joe, be a little bit careful. And so, and then you see that reaction, and then they fall over, So that's the energy going right to the spine, and then going out, and then your brain gets that. Yeah, we just got kicked in the nuts, and it's pretty painful down there. So you don't understand at first, so you react. So that's what we're talking about as far as like the energies and so forth. The LifeWave patches actually will bypass an area that is blocking. So the spine, when it gets, when you touch something hot and it burns you, you pull back right away. You don't oh, my finger's burning, I better pull it away. You don't get that. Your body's protecting itself. Right. And so you instantly pull back, and you look at it, it's like, oh, I just got burned. Or you get cut, and you're like, oh, I just got cut. And so you don't know it, but your body's pulling back because it goes right to your spine, and then it tells your brain, we had a problem down here. Okay, so we took care of it. So that's what's happening with a patch. There's problems within our consciousness and our brains, neurons and so forth. They're not firing correctly. So the patch basically is light energy that's bypassing the nervous electrical energies that are there. Just like your body's going to send, a quick response back out. Our bodies are basically designed. We're light beams.
Yeah, we are.
Electrical energies, light beams, but that's what the patch does. And that's why share the light. That's why we say share the light, because it's basically activating the light of your body. And for you, it basically, bypass that block that had been put there, or you put it there because you didn't want to face that trauma or whatever it was, whatever traumatized you, however it was traumatized, and then however it was programmed, either from that point on, it got bypassed. So the light will bypass their nervous control systems within our body. And that's why we're having such phenomenal healing and people having, miracles on so many different levels from the patches.
It is phenomenal because, I'm talking about the PTSD and anxiety, but, Michael, we hear stories, people who have been on the technology, and this is after, many years, but they've been blind for 30 years and they wake up and now they can see, or deaf and they can hear. Amazing, phenomenal. You can pick an organ or a body part and the most astounding things. So does our technology work in a very similar manner to what you described, depending whether it's a physical issue too?
Yeah, it's just going to hit a block like the ice wave patch. There's, a block, pain in a certain area. So the pain is blocking your body from healing, overcome that pain. So it's basically same thing. It's like that cut or that, kick to nuts, whatever. Eventually you're going to recover from it. But it can get stuck there. You can have long-term problems from certain things that, injuries and so forth, and you don't realize it. You're just having pain and locality over time. Maybe you got a shoulder injury, and the shoulder injuries is like, just constant pain, at a certain level. Some people describe it as like from 1 to 10. Some people have pain levels, that are right up at 10 and live with it, they just deal with it. There's a lot of veterans that are like that. That's why I keep trying to get the veterans, because they're programmed to suck it up and take it. It's like, come on, guys, you don't need to. So, but, and that's what I learned as well, because I had injuries, and the LifeWave patches basically overcame those injuries. So it's an unblocking of problems. Some people have what we call like a regression back to the initial injury. So some people will feel maybe some pain from putting on the patch, because it's basically bringing you back to that point so you can remember it, just like we're talking about our memories are coming through.
Yes.
And then release it, and then it won't be a block anymore, and then it's no longer an injury, because it's regressed into your cellular structure. It's trapped there, and the light energy comes in and breaks that up. It's okay, move along. You don't have to do that anymore. We got the fix for you. And so it basically releases. Some people within seconds, like for me, the pain in my knee where I had my kneecap shattered, kept coming back. And then I used the ice wave patches on it, and it basically released. And I just haven't had, the pain like I used to get there at all ever since then. And that was like over 4 years ago. And I used to get some crazy pain in there. It's kind of like you imagine Navy SEAL. I can take a lot of pain.
Yes.
And I went to a chiropractor that had a device that would measure how much inflammation and pain you had in your body. And she's like, you are off the charts. I've never seen anybody with somebody that deals with pain like you are dealing with pain. So she, cracked me and moved stuff around and it released a lot of that. But that's what the LifeWave patches do. Stuff that's trapped and injuries that are stuck, it will release them. And it's because it's the light, because it can't be anything else. It's not like I'm getting a shot taken into my body.
Right.
I'm not taking any pills. No one's coming in and massaging me or cracking me or anything like that. I'm just putting a patch on. So it's light. Your infrared light connects with the frequencies of the patch, reflects it back down, and it's like, release yourself. So go forth and be free from this pain. So it's beautiful. It's incredible. But that's
it is like the avatar. The avatar med bed that you described in the super soldier program. It is exactly like that. We were both at convention last year in October in Anaheim, and David Schmidt, our inventor, he threw up on the big screen. He started talking about being able to regrow organs and limbs. Yeah. Now, you have to ask yourself, why is the inventor of LifeWave talking about the possibility of regrowing organs and limbs? And he said, all it takes is energy and information.
Yeah.
That's where we're heading.
Yeah. So frequency, your each one of your organs is a certain frequency. Your eyes, your taste buds, your stomach, your kidneys, your heart. It's obviously they're all different frequencies, because they, the cellular structures come together and formulate and do their thing. It's not like the other ones, although there's some similarities, but they're different. And so there's a different frequency to each one of those. I can tell you that they can do negative things with those frequencies. I've talked about how I was on the Pacific Crest Trail and a helicopter flew alongside me, and I felt my heart seizing up. So several times. So I was able to overcome that, resist that. Some people do, but most people don't. And we hear a lot about heart attacks, from people that seem to be revealing a little bit too much information. So there's obviously a capability to influence certain, body parts. Cancers pop up in people that seem to be revealing as well. So that, there's lots of different ways to manipulate, unfortunately, in a negative way, the frequencies of our body. And sometimes it's not, intentional. Sometimes it's just, the electrical fields in your house are all squirrely or something. I've had people on my show talk about that. And it's like, I had somebody in this one room, and I came in and I fixed their electrical energy, and they stopped having these problems. So electrical energy. We're electrical beings as well. Our nervous system. So, electrical stuff can, be, impinged or, harmed or whatever through different means. So David Schmidt, through his new technology, the X2O water machine, has talked about how he will have different attachments that will actually focus the light frequency that he's putting in the water now to be a light frequency that will be specific for a certain organ. Say you're having heart issues, it seems to be a real problem these days after that, COVID-19 thing. But the shot went in a lot of people. So, regenerating and rehabilitating, different areas of the body. That's what's coming. And it's very close. I guess the X2O machine, hopefully, because we know that there's a lot of dark energies that are trying to stop LifeWave and the technologies that are coming out. So they've had to push back the the release of the X2O machine because of some of those, and infiltration by negative groups. I've seen this when I worked in CIA. We would infiltrate different groups with people that were double agents and so forth. So these things happen. I'm not saying that the CIA, all the stuff they do is bad. I can tell you that some of the stuff I was involved in, we're doing some good stuff, but I could see there were bad things that were going on. I believe I was attacked because, I left the CIA on terms that I was starting to reveal certain things they didn't want me to reveal on the secret space program, and also the ET stuff. So they came at me a lot of different ways. So that's one of the things that they can do. So the frequencies will be able to be adjusted. You have attachments, I guess, for the X2O machine that will specifically produce a certain light frequency that will help whatever you need to. Maybe you have poor eyesight and or you're blind, like you talk about, and it could come in and some of our patches, like the carnosine patch, helps a lot of people with their eyesight already. Not everybody, but a lot of people who can't make claims, of course, because there's a control system out there, like we're talking about, that's trying to resist us from getting healthy, because they like to keep us unhealthy because they make more money off us that way. If everybody's healthy, the medical institutions are mostly shut down. The vaccine programs and all that kind of stuff. So they want to keep us unhealthy, and there are ways and things that are coming out that changes those frequencies so that we will be like med bed level, healthy.
Well, exactly. Matter of fact, you mentioned the carnosine. I had that on until the show because I didn't want a big patch by my eye. I probably should have left it on. But yesterday we had really pretty weather, and I opened up my back door, and the wind was, so the trees are in full bloom, allergies. And but I thought I would enjoy it. And now my house is completely full of pollen, right? And I didn't think to wear my glutathione because I was inside. So, but I opened the door and my eyes became just sore and itchy and really painful. But I put the carnosine patch right here and it stopped. Everything was fine until I, started the show, and I should have left it on because the pollen's still in the house. But when we talk about the water machine, we're hearing incredible stories, Michael, from people who are using it already.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, personally, I've had some incredible turnarounds. Being a Navy SEAL, was in the sun quite a bit. So I had some skin issues that I've been dealing with for a couple decades, and they really started to flare up really bad. And I got some work done on it. It doesn't seem to be stopping it. It just kept increasingly getting worse. So I was looking forward to the LifeWave X2O because when it came, all that turned around. And stopped. I was having some lung issues that happens to me sometimes, and that all got cleared up. There's so many different things. I think we talk about brain and so forth. I think the brain is my brain has been positively affected. The first time I tried the LifeWave water, within seconds. I could feel it, just like it seemed like all the neurons in my brain were like firing, like yeehaw. It's like
Cool.
I felt floaty, I felt light, and it's like but I use it when I've traveled. There's been a couple times where I traveled, I couldn't take it, and things started to flare back up. And I got back home and I got back on this machine, water, and it reduced it. And it's continually still, it's a work in progress, but at some point I'll share the pictures of where I was and where I am now. It's like, whoa, that's a big difference. So the new machine comes out next month, hopefully, like we talked about.
Yeah.
And then I guess the green light to share our results is going to happen. So, but until then, I just keep it to a little conversational level. Gut, better gut, better lungs, better skin, much better skin. So good things are coming from it. And then, of course, like David has revealed, and he's said that at a couple conferences ago, that we would have attachments for the water machine that would focus it on different body parts.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear all the testimonies. I always like to share the testimony that David said himself at convention, because I figure he said it publicly there and it went worldwide. But he told the story of a scientist in his 60s, who was going to help him with the drone equipment, the drone machine. And the man walked in and his hands were completely shriveled. And he came personally to David and he said, "I cannot help you, but I want to tell you in person." And he had severe depression because his hands had the condition where they just swollen joints and things, and they just wouldn't work and move. And he was completely depressed because his wife had to do everything for him. It was deeply humiliating as a man. And David said, "Come with me." Took him to his office, put patches on him, because our water machine, the clinical studies are done in conjunction with our patches. Put patches on him, gave him a glass of water, and he was fine. He was absolutely fine. Yeah. And walked out a happy, positive man, just that quickly. So I mean, we have amazing stories that are coming.
Yeah, they're incredible, and more are coming, much more. I mean, we have them on our Miracle Monday. Staggering amounts of positive stuff that's been coming out over the years. So I'm looking forward to adding the water machine miracles to that. It's going to be next level, totally next level. And I've heard from other people that have the water machines, and they weren't long for this earth, and they became healthy and were able to continue. And some people have actually requested the water machine. And David has been very generous in giving them a water machine, even before he started, giving it to the rest of us. And people within our group, they were not going to be long on the earth, like I said, and it turned around, and now they're healthy. So that's why they are really aggressively tried to block it. But it's already out there. It's already been leaked out there. We're already utilizing it. A lot of people are. And, as we move forward, it's going to be available to the general public, and then the general public starts to get it and, has the incredible healings and, life-changing events that are going to start happening to them, the miracles. It's going to be unbelievable.
It's amazing. And in the couple minutes we have left, I just wanted to briefly touch on the future with LifeWave, because we have several major inventions in the next several years that are going to be rolled out.
Yeah. One of them is like it probably shouldn't go too deep in this, but sure. A lot of people, you see a lot of people now that are using Ozempic, and they look horrible. I saw one just recently where Oprah was, she looked like she was like 85 pounds, 95 pounds or something. And her face was all shrunken, and it looked like the musculature that's within the face had been, taken away. It's really, really strange looking, and a lot of people are like that these days. And I think that we're going to see some negative impacts from people that have been using Ozempic. Now, I used a patch that's very similar to Ozempic. It's in the early stages of it. I get to fortunately try it out. And I'd kind of been stuck at a certain weight for a long time. I'd done bodybuilding contests, and I did a Spartan Beast, which is like, a half marathon up in the mountains and doing all these oak courses and so forth. Within a week after I did my bodybuilding contest. So I trained for both of them. So I was in unbelievable shape. And then, COVID came around, locked us down. I would sneak out of the house, and there was I couldn't go to the gym. I had a few weights that I used on my own, but not on the level that I was using before. No 1,000-pound leg presses for me. We're locked up. So I would hike in the wilderness and so forth, in areas where I wasn't supposed to be, and helicopters would fly by and I'd hide. And so,
what fun for you?
Yeah. So I got, I lost that edge. And then when you're a performance athlete, you have to keep it up, otherwise you're going to lose it.
That's right.
After all that time, I regress quite a bit. So I put on a pretty good amount of weight. It was hard for me to get it off. I used that, and I tried different things. I know how to lose weight, and I would cut it down, and then it'd come right back, like it normally does. But I used this Ozempic leg patch, and I had no appetite at all, no appetite. And like normally, so I do intermittent fasting. I don't eat till about 12 or 1 o'clock. From the time my last meal, which is around 5, somewhere between 5 and 7 o'clock. And then I eat little meals, 2 or 3 little meals, and then I have a normal meal. And so I would get like crazy hunger cravings, and so it was like, and it was hard to suppress it, And I'd cheat a little bit here, I'd cheat a little bit there, eat a few extra, almonds or whatever, and it slowly started to make it, slowly creep it back. And I was like, God, it's so hard to keep it off. But that patch came, and I just crushed it down, and I lost like 15 pounds. It pretty much stayed off, and now I'm like, it's easier for me to push it down. Like the other night we did, we went out Ruth's Chris, so everybody splurged. I splurged, but it wasn't that bad. The next morning I was like, I didn't really put on that much weight. Oh, cool. And then I, pushed it back down to where I was trying to get it, and still a little bit more that I like to do, about another 10 pounds or so, maybe 15, another 15. Maybe David hit me up with another couple months worth of patches. So I don't know. But whenever they come out,
you're a top seller. I'm sure he will.
But the important thing is with this patch is like there were no negative effects at all. I did have no appetite, but I could eat, and when I ate, I enjoyed the food, and I knew how much to eat, but not overwhelm my system, of course. Not overeat. Yeah. No reason to. I didn't have that hunger, and it seemed like I kept my lean muscle. So we're seeing with the other Ozempic, like people are losing their muscle. I did not lose my muscle at all. In fact, maybe the other way around. I was losing fat and gaining a little bit of muscle, and that's really hard to do. But I was doing it. So it's so that's the kind of technology that's coming out. It's fantastic. That's one of the ones I had no idea. I hadn't heard about it. He just like, I'll just share these with you and Tracy. And so I was like, okay, what does it do? And he didn't say. So I put it on, and then I didn't have, then we're like, wow, this thing is great. And it's like, yeah, use it with these patches. We found if you use it with these patches, it works better. So they've obviously been using it for a while. And I've seen a few people that are, in the, executive areas of LifeWave, they seem like nice and lean. So I was like,
that's right.
Okay, they've been using this for a little bit now.
Yes, I noticed that at convention. And my first thought was, are they taking, Ozempic? And I hope not, because Dr. Artis talks about how that's paralyzing people's stomachs too, is another side effect.
It's Kia Monster venom.
Yeah, exactly.
And they just love the reptilian stuff because they're reptiles.
Yeah. And of course, our patch is no drugs, no chemicals, right? So
Mhm.
It's just our body working the way it was always meant to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All natural. And, there's in the past, I'm sure they probably had a lot of these, remedies. And, over time, because of suppression and so forth, they kind of went away. But David is bringing it back, and he's putting it all in a little patch. So it's fantastic.
I'm excited. So, what are your final thoughts before we close out?
Yeah, I think we're going to have amazing reveals, not just from LifeWave, of course, but throughout free energies and so forth. David Schmidt is pretty much there with the free energy.
Yep.
It's coming out. I can't talk about it, but I've been to his laboratory, and I saw this several years ago, and I asked him about certain things with his drone program. That I always thought, when I was in the military, because I saw decades ago that drones would eventually start to replace our pilots because they would be more effective. And sure enough, the drone wars that are happening right now are just unbelievable. Mm-hmm. So David's way out there with his drone technology. He's not giving it to the military industrial complex. He's using it for positive effects, but he talked also in a recent event where he talked about how the drone technologies could, if someone was being like a child predator or something, was holding children, they could come in and freeze that person, land the craft, and rescue the child and fly away. So,
yes.
Wow. So the technology is there, but getting them past this control system is the issue. So once this control system, which Trump is doing, I think outstanding. Trump is a destroyer, right? He's not the creative type that much, but he is an excellent destroyer of things that are bad and evil, and he is doing that around the world. It's a worldwide event that's happening where this control system that's been very negative and almost completely got to the point where it would have enslaved us completely, mind, body, and spirit. So he's returning, that back to us and destroying the system that was, reaching to, do that. So that's what we're seeing right now. So it is amazing times. I see, like I said, a lot of these technologies being revealed very soon. Information that will help us, because a lot of our educational systems dumb us down. And like take, for instance, aircraft. So when we get on a flight, if they really had all of the fuel on that plane, it would weigh down that plane so much the plane wouldn't be able to fly, because it would take like 5 tanker loads full of fuel to, if what they say had that much on it. But all you see is a little bit they put in the wings, because all they need is enough to take off, and then they get into the etheric realm, and it doesn't need any more fuel. So they've kept this information from us. So dumbing us down will be the dumbing down that we've been subjected to will be revealed, and then mathematics and informations and so forth that have also been used to dumb us down will be lifted, and we'll be able. Most of us will be able to do a lot of these, think through a lot of these things, and create on a level that's never been achieved before here on Earth. It's going to be amazing.
Well, it's exciting, and this is in our lifetime. This isn't some futuristic events that you're talking about. This is going to be in our lifetime.
Yeah,
I believe. Oh,
yeah. It's within the next few years.
What a time to be alive, Michael. It's just so exciting. All the reveals, everything, the exposure, the action that we're seeing now. I mean, what a time to be alive.
It's amazing. Absolutely.
Wow.
And, it's been a lot of the prophets revealed that this time would come, and we are in it.
That's right. Amen. Well, thank you so much for being on, Michael. I look forward to next month.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, Lynn. It's
okay. So me too. So until next time, everybody, this is Lynn Scott Haggerman, where the truth is rising, and so are we. Praise God.